All right, let's get to the matchup with A&M and Miami. Uh, I I thought I wanted so from an A&M perspective, I was thinking to myself, I think Alabama is the best matchup for A&M. I recognize their talent, but I know they're hurt, and we'll see how healthy they are in a few weeks. But I just think it's a good matchup. I thought Miami was the next one, and even though A&M had beaten Notre Dame, I was like, Notre Dame's a team I don't really want to face if I don't have to. I know we beat them on the road. So this Miami matchup, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I think this is a good matchup, and I also think like for where A&M fell to 7, the fact that you get Miami at Kyle Field and then you get Ohio State in the state of Texas. Not saying that you're going to be favored by any stretch, but for being the 7 seed, I think it's kind of worked out pretty well for A&M. Am I right? Am I wrong? How do you see it?
I got to say, I'm not there with you. I look at the athletic profiles. This is kind of how, when you get closer to the game, you break down the individuals. When we're still this far away from the game, or when I'm watching the seeds get unveiled and the bracket come together, what I always think about is I zoom way out and I just start with talent profile. From a talent profile perspective, I talked to a couple of offensive coordinators that ended up in the playoffs, and they kept bringing up Miami, and they were saying, yeah, it's a flawed team. Like, yes, they lost a couple of games this year, but if you assume you get their best when they're in the playoff, you just assume that. The matchup advantages they can create for themselves defensively are unlike any other team in the playoff. And I said, well, you mean that within reason, right? And they said, no. Miami's defensive personnel at their best present a matchup the likes of which we would not see against any other team in the playoff. That doesn't guarantee anything. What it just means is, especially like if I'm thinking about Texas A&M facing them, they are a top 10 run D. So like if they limit your ability to create third and short situations for you, you just enter yourself into a situation once again where Marcel's got to throw the ball to win games. So he could do that, or it could end up being a -3 turnover day. The good news for A&M is they, I think, should be able to put Miami in a very similar spot to where I don't think either team has a ton of success running the ball, which means it comes down to quarterback versus quarterback, and then their quarterback's got to be playing on the road in Kyle Field, and that's an entire outfit. That Miami outfit has struggled on the road, the Pitt game notwithstanding. They did play much better late in the year. So, yeah, like A&M opened as the favorite. They should open as the favorite. But if I've got to go through that athletic profile in the first few rounds, that's a big deal. And then my reward is playing Ohio State, and yet again an Ohio State that sort of fumbled in the last game we saw them play, kind of like last year. I got no clue what to expect from them coming out. But yet again, those are two of the best athletic profile teams that exist in this thing. And A&M plays both of them. I don't even know how the bracket shakes out and who they play after that. We'll worry about that when we get there. But I think they got to earn it, man. I think there's a lot of resistance in front of them here.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't love it because I thought A&M should have been a top 5 seed, right? So
I agree with you, actually.
Yeah. So, but if you're going to be a 7 seed, I'd rather take on a team from the ACC, even though I agree with you 1,000% about their athletic profile. And if you're going to play Ohio State, I'd rather play them at AT&T in Dallas than at the Rose Bowl. I guess that was more my point.
Yeah, was that where they played Texas last year?
Yes.
Is that where Ohio? Yeah. So I don't even know how this quantifies itself, but familiarity with the venue. I also think one of the things that caught me off guard this year was a head coach was getting ready to play a game on turf. It was later in the year. I'm not even thinking about the playing surface. And he said, you know what I'm really excited about today? I'm excited that some of our skill guys have only played one game on turf all year, and it was like a lower caliber game where no one even paid attention. And he said, we track everything here. We think we actually have an edge today because of playing surface. And I would just be interested watching like Mario Craver, KC Concepcion, the yards after catch facet of that game with where it would be played. And by the way, imagine the folks in Miami just listening to you and I chop up A&M, Ohio State theoreticals. That's got to be fun for them.
Well, look, I have a lot of respect. I grew up in a home where one of my brothers went to Miami, one of my brothers went to A&M. So I've always respected, and I thought I might go to the U at one point. I have a lot of respect for what they've been able to do, and I like Mario. And I'm not saying A&M's for sure going to win that game. I struggle thinking about their ability to stop the run and their ability to run. And then I think about A&M, who has recently struggled, all season long, really struggled to stop big runs from happening.
Yeah, that's why when I said, I thought I was going to get pushback from you when I said, I think neither team will run the ball particularly well, because if you just look at the paper, it screams that one team can have a breakout rushing performance. I'm kind of rolling the dice here that with the time off that both of them have had, one of the facets, one of the aspects of that game that will sort of level up at the right time is run defense. And they're not the only two teams I feel that way about, but I really feel that way about them. Now, if I'm wrong about that, rushing yards per carry, rushing statistics, those become the key to this game, aside from turnovers and whatnot. But outside of that, if I am right about that, that just becomes QB versus QB at that point.
Thank you to Academy Sports and Outdoors for the free portion of this content here on TexAgs.com. If you want to listen to the extended version, go to TexAgs.com/subscribe and become a premium subscriber. And if you're a student at A&M, take advantage. We'll give it to you for free.